Hello everybody, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome again to Skills of the Future Bootcamp, brought to you by Skills for Skills in collaboration with More, to present you the top skills you need for the future of the workplace. Tell us how are you feeling in the chat box, tell us from where you are, and we love to see your energy like always. You are here for the 7th day and you are taking the right next steps to the future to learn and just level up with all your skills. Tell us how, let the fun begin. I'm just waiting to see the usual, something that you always type for us. I'm waiting for someone to type it. Thank you all for all your excitement. We love that. And remember that we will see after the workshop, share our learnings with each other. So stay tuned for that. Excited? Welcome Dimfu from South Africa. I didn't see fire. Why? Why we don't see fire today? Are you excited? Okay, Asma, when she sent the fire, you are all excited. So let's start the session with Fatima Zahra. Fatima Zahra, how are you doing?
Can I answer something else but excited? I'm just as excited as the participants. I'm so happy to be here and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for accepting the invitation. Hello, Nikki from South Africa. Yeah, it's Monday, Asma, but we are so excited and we are just in 3 days before the end of the bootcamp. So let's take the best out of it. Well, to tell you a little bit about Fatima Zahra, she is passionate about communication, education, and soft skills. Her daily drive is working with and for young people and to have positive impact. She started her career in Mauritius after joining Amnesty International, and back to Morocco, she worked for a consulting firm and then dedicated her career in the higher education sector, managing the communication department for 6 years in a prestigious business school. Now working in a strategic advisory position at one of the head of the government offices, working on youth employment with her team. She is a trainer in personal development. Her interests are in leadership, education, emotional intelligence, public speaking, soft skills and critical skills, and so on. A lot to learn from you, Fatima Zahra, today. She is also a shaper, outgoing creator of Rabat Hub in the Global Shapers community, and she is implementing with her team successful projects both locally and internationally to drive impact further in the world. Welcome with us, Touzani, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hanan, for this wonderful presentation. You know me better than myself. So thank you for this beautiful trip back in time. Really happy to be here with you. I am so glad to be sharing with you my knowledge, if I may say, and I'll be very happy to interact. I have been following you guys since the beginning of the bootcamp, so I know how excited and passionate you are about learning, and this is already something we have in common. I mean, I am sharing with you something I know today, but I am pretty sure I will learn so much from you too, and this is why I love teaching. Actually, it's because I am always keep I always keep learning and learning much more than what I do share with my students and with the participants of this kind of workshops. So thank you once again for being here today, and thank you for your interest in the skills of the future. I think it's more than time for all of us to be aware of it, that what is commonly known for being hard skills are still necessary, but we cannot live with hard skills only. We need to be aware of something that we call soft skills. I am pretty sure you all know what soft skills are all about. Yeah, they are not soft skills. They are what Asma, I know, loves to call necessary skills. And yes, we will be speaking today about emotional intelligence and how we can develop this skill. What is it? Why is it important? Is it important for a good leader to have to develop his or her emotional intelligence? Is it a tool that we can use to work on conflict resolution? But I know it is another session you will be having maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So it will be just a brief introduction to conflict resolutions and how we can use emotional intelligence for that. And we will be like, please feel free to interrupt or to write down on the chat box your questions if you have any, or if something is not clear enough. Okay, I wanted to start this session by asking you a question, but Hanan did already, and I think it's really a good way to start, especially now that we are going virtual. Unfortunately, I cannot see you guys. Yes, I will share the screen as soon as I start. I have not started yet the presentation, but I will. Thank you, Hanan, for reminding me. I love the fact that she asked you about your feelings. How do you guys feel? And it will be my very first point today, especially now that we are going virtual and all our meetings are virtual, our classes are virtual. Sometimes even our friends and family members, we meet them on social media. Unfortunately, on social media, we cannot easily get to know how the people feel, how they are. We cannot really sense their presence. So it's very important to start with asking this question and actually taking time to really think about how you feel. So I have read earlier excitement, happy, eager to learn, but I would love for you to take, while I am sharing my screen, I would love for you to share two feelings that you have felt today. The most, like the two emotions that kept coming back to you today. Can you please take 30 seconds while I am sharing the screen with you to share with me the two emotions that you have been feeling the most today? Peace and calm. I feel optimistic, thrilled and delighted, motivated, but also tired. Okay, I will take this one because this is what I actually wanted. Before we start speaking about emotional intelligence, let's say that we have to be aware that especially in those very weird times, it's very normal to be feeling emotions that are opposites. It's normal to be happy and tired. It's normal to be tired and motivated. It's normal to feel tired and still thankful. It's normal to feel stressed and still hopeful for the future. And what you have just done, my dears, now is what we should do when we speak about emotional intelligence. You took 30 seconds, a minute, maybe two, to actually stop, listen to your body, listen to your feelings, listen to your emotions, and actually get to know what you are going through. Unfortunately, like so many people do not take this time, and this is why they feel overwhelmed, and this is why they feel like life have been tough. This is why they feel like they cannot deal with everything that is going on. It's because they do not really take time to understand what they are going through, and what you are going through is generally very much linked to your emotions. And this is what we will be going through in the upcoming hour. Tired and lazy, anger and stress, stressed but optimist. I feel excited to learn more, and tired also. Nice. I like that reflection. I agree that sometimes we disregard our emotions. Absolutely. And that's actually, if you learn this, you would have learned the basic skill of emotional intelligence. What is it? How do you define emotional intelligence, guys? I'm going to share my screen right away. And I would like for you to tell me what you think. What is emotional intelligence in your opinion? Can you now see my screen? So welcome everyone once again. Welcome to this presentation. I am so happy to be sharing with you the few things I know about emotional intelligence. It literally is a skill that completely changed my life and my relationships in both my professional and my personal life. So I'm very happy to learn, and I hope it will be helpful to you as well. So yes, okay, thank you for your answer. So here you go. This is the agenda of today. We will start by defining what emotional intelligence is. And I would love to hear your definitions before I give you mine. And here I will as well share with you the thoughts and the definitions of those who spoke about emotional intelligence at the very first time. And then we will, because I have took some time to discover you and your profiles, and I see beautiful leaders out there. You are young, yes, but I can see that you are achieving, like I have taken a few time to read your bios on Facebook, etc. And I am so proud to see the youth, the Moroccan youth, doing and achieving all what you are doing. So leadership and emotional intelligence, I would say, how can you use emotional intelligence to become the best version a leader can be? Emotional intelligence and conflict resolution. And then we will have some fun with the three good things practical activity. You will see it's a very simple activity, yet very interesting, because it will help us it will make us learn how to think positively. Naturally, we are attempted to think about negative things. I don't know if you have noticed that, if you are the same way I am, but as humans, we tend to think about the negative things before actually highlighting the positive things. And today I will share with you a very simple tip that you can start using in your meetings, that you can start using in your day-to-day life. It's very simple, you will see, but it literally changed my life, and I hope it will have the same impact on you too. I see comments coming, but I cannot follow up with everything. Hanan, can you help me with that? Or I don't know how you guys do that, but because I see the comments come in, and I would love to read all your comments, but I think that we will have to try to go.
Yes,
Well,
if you want to, because you,
Hanan.
yeah, there is they answered your question about defining emotional intelligence to them. Do you want to go to that?
Yes, I think it can be very
Okay.
interesting. So I think that, alors, I don't know who, I think that emotional intelligence is how
Yes.
we all use our emotions in an intelligent way so that we control our decisions and our thoughts. Okay, it's part of the answer. The answer is not complete here, but I will explain why. The emotional intelligence is maybe the way you can handle your feelings to be more productive. It is as well part of the answer, but it is not the full answer. The ability to know, understand, manage your emotions and emotions of others. Yes, beautiful definition. I love it. Know, understand, manage your emotions and the emotions of the others. This is very important. We are not here speaking about our emotions only. We are speaking about the emotions of our friends, of our colleagues, of our co-workers, of our family members, of our boyfriends, girlfriends. We are speaking about the emotional climate of all the people that we are interfering with in our daily life. We have as well another definition. Emotional intelligence is the skill to identify your state of soul and how you can utilize it in our normal busy life. Okay, I love the word state of soul. I have never used it, but it's beautiful. Okay, is to know how to manage your feelings and deal with others' emotions. Yes, beautiful. All those definitions are very well. Maybe I cannot go through all your definitions, but yes, thank you for interacting. It is very important. Okay, so let's move forward. You have said it all, that emotional intelligence is a set of emotional and social skills. If I should explain it in a very simple way, emotional intelligence is a skill that allows you to get to know first your feelings, understand them, deal with them, and know and understand and deal with your coworkers and with the others' feelings. So it's establish how good you understand and express yourself. It helps you develop and maintain social relationships. It helps you cope with the challenges. When you have a high level of emotional intelligence, you cope better with the challenges because it doesn't make you stop acting. It helps you understand what's going on, and it helps you try making the right decisions. It helps you use your emotional information, yours and those of other people, in a meaningful and effective way. It has been like this sentence, I'm inviting you to read it. Emotional intelligence is estimated to account for 27% to 45% of job successes. Take a second to think about that. 27, ça compte pour 27% dans la réussite de 45% des succès dans le cadre professionnel. It is just huge. We should be aware of how important emotional intelligence is. Usually we do not really make the difference between what emotional intelligence is, how different it is from cognitive intelligence. Those are skills that are completely different and are not correlated. We hear sometimes people saying, I have a high IQ, so I have a high level of emotional intelligence. This is not how it works. You can have a very high level of IQ, but still have a very low level of emotional intelligence. On the opposite side, you can have a very high level of emotional intelligence, and still your IQ is not that high. It is not, emotional intelligence is not linked to your performance. It is not linked to your attitude. It doesn't measure your vocation. I mean, it's not because you have a very high emotional intelligence that you're supposed to be a psychologist, for example. This is not how it works. And it doesn't help assessment of anxiety, depression, or any other aspect of mental health, because sometimes we hear people saying, yeah, I am good. I have a high level of emotional intelligence. But then they can have an episode and they can feel anxiety for a few weeks, for example. So it is not correlated. Even though you have a high level of emotional intelligence, you can feel from time to time. You can still from time to time feel anxiety or depression or any other aspect of mental health. Things are not related. Please feel free. Please feel free to stop me if you have any. I am trying to keep an eye on your comments. Okay. Do you know this guy? Of course you do. Can you believe that this guy who lived in the ancient Greece said this sentence? Everyone can become angry. That's very easy, right? But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that's not easy. What do you think? This is the most effective definition of emotional intelligence, in my opinion. And I cannot believe it is attributed to Aristotle back in ancient Greece. It hits really hard. Everyone can become angry. That's easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that's not easy. That can't summarize it all. Yes, I can go. Thank you so much for being here. And this session is over. It sums it all, but we will go through details a bit more. Of course, it is difficult to control anger, and I will share with you few tips. You will see I have tried to make this presentation very to the point and very practical, so that you get to like work on your emotional intelligence and make it a bit and make it better. I have seen a question earlier. I think emotional intelligence does not prevent anxiety or depression, but it helps managing it and get rid of it. Of course, definitely yes. This is so right. Okay. What are the abilities of an emotional intelligent person? You know, it's not a skill that you can develop بين عشية وضحاها, as we say. You need to take time to work on it. And it is not something you can learn by reading a book or by attending to this workshop or by attending to many other workshops on emotional intelligence. No, it is the one skill that you need to develop while interacting with people, while making mistakes, and while learning from your mistakes, and while actually developing the skill by practicing it. You need to practice it. So an AI person has the ability to recognize and manage emotions. This is the toughest part. Like sometimes you do not feel good, but you don't know what's going on. You need to stop and actually try to understand, okay, why am I feeling bad? What's happening now? What should I do so that this situation won't happen again? One. An emotional intelligence person has the ability of self-awareness, and you are always looking at yourself and trying to understand what's going on within yourself. Self-control. You know how to stop anger. I don't know who said earlier that it is so difficult to control anger, but you know how to stop anger, you know how to deal with your stress, you know how to deal with your emotions, and you do not let them control you. And you have a situational awareness. What does it mean, having a situational awareness? Means you are aware of yourself, of the others, and of the general climate. You have this ability to step back and analyze everything that is going on. And you actually try to understand and make the connections that needs to be made so that you understand what's going on in a classroom, in a meeting room, in, I don't know, in different climates where we can evolve. Plus, an emotional intelligent person is someone who has the ability to motivate, to build bonds between people, to create group synergies, and to manage stressful situations. So those are the different skills of an emotional intelligent person. I am pretty sure you are all aware of that. If not, I have judged it necessary to remind you of when did we actually start speaking about emotional intelligence and who spoke about that at the very first time. Have you heard about John Mayer? Some people love to call him Jack, and Peter Salovey. Those are the two guys who introduced the concept of emotional intelligence. Like the very first time we spoke about emotional intelligence, emotions and intelligence, it was for the very first time, it happened in 1990. We usually think it happened with Goleman, but it is not true. It started with John Mayer and Peter Salovey. So they suggested that some individuals possess the ability to reason about and use emotions to enhance more effectively and to talk and to deliver their thoughts and their ideas in a more effective way than others. And they have set a 4 steps scheme. The first one is about perceiving emotions. The second one is about using emotions. The third one is about understanding your emotions. And the fourth step is about managing your emotions. Perceiving your emotions. You try to detect the emotions in you, but as well, the emotions in other people's faces. Like you can say, people with high level of emotional intelligence, just by seeing you will tell you, what's going on in here? I feel you're not doing well. Or even in the phone, like hello, when he says or she says hello, you know that something is not going well. You know, like earlier I was talking to a friend and she said hi. I was like, what's going on? You're not feeling well. It's when you pay attention to details that you can develop your capacity of perceiving emotions. This is the first step. You try to identify your emotions and the others. It is very important. Keep this in mind, guys. It's not just about you, it's about you and the others. How do you use this? How do you use these emotions? I mean, you use them, like, for example, if I know that Hanan is not feeling well, I won't start right away by speaking to her about work or about the meeting or about what we have to do. I will try to understand what's going on and I will try to make her feel better. This is how I am being emotionally intelligent. I will try first to make her feel better, make her understand that I have this empathy and that I do understand that she's going through maybe a tough moment, maybe a tough period. And then afterwards, when she is ready and when she is engaged, we can start talking about work, for example. 3, understanding emotions. It's pretty clear, right? So it is the ability to comprehend the language of emotion and to appreciate complicated relationships among emotions and the way they evolve over time. And we will speak much more about that. We will be speaking about conflict resolutions later on. And then managing emotions. How can you regulate your emotions in both yourselves and in others? And this is when you learn to regulate your emotions, it is amazing. Because, like, I know for matter of fact, for example, this morning I got into a fight with a friend and then my mood was not going well at all. So does it mean that everyone should pay for that mood? Or I should pay attention and I should find a way to regulate these emotions? I know it might seem very hard at the very beginning, but then when you start using it, you learn. I mean, yes, I am still mad at that person, but not everyone is supposed to pay for it. So I will say, okay, I will just put it aside and I will deal with it at the right time. Remember what told us Aristotle few slides above. She does always. I don't know what that she does always. No, we should be responsible for our own emotions. Absolutely. Become less reactive and more interactive. Absolutely. Pay attention. Emotional intelligence is not about, I will like okay. Very, very well. I love the fact that you spoke about that. It is coming now, but I will go through it now. And then I will get back, because yes, emotional intelligence is not about catching and suppressing emotions. It's definitely not that. You should get it. You're definitely getting it wrong if you think that while you are trying to be emotionally intelligent, you should suppress your emotions. You should not listen to them. You should not deal with them. No, this is so wrong, and this is not what emotional intelligence is about. I cannot see your comments anymore, but I would love to see them because it's very important, and this is how we interact. So give me just a little second so that I can find them. Oh, here it is. Okay, so yes, emotional intelligence is definitely not about saying, no, emotions, shut up, I don't want to hear you. No, it's about telling them, you know what, I will be taking a few minutes to understand what's going on in here. And before you control me, let me please understand what's going on. And then we will manage, and we will deal with the situation in a very intelligent way. It's not about suppressing anger. It's not about that. And it's not about suppressing anxiety. And it's not about suppressing fear either. We embrace our emotions. I love your comments, guys. Please keep them coming. It's so beautiful. Leaders who lack emotional intelligence create very toxic work environments because they project their yes, and we will speak about that as well. You have to feel your emotions, understand, and then let them go if it was negative. Let them go, no, maybe just try to understand. So I want you to keep this in mind, please. Emotional intelligence is not about suppressing emotions, because sometimes people get it wrong and they think they are doing it right while saying, okay, you know what, just shut up. I don't want to hear those emotions. This is wrong. At the opposite, what emotional intelligence is about, it's about bringing all of these emotions to the surface and using them in a way that can drive situations forward. Like, you should be solution oriented. Okay, those are my emotions. I think I did understand the reasons why I am feeling them. So now it's up to me to find a solution. In order to do the right thing, remember, I will keep repeating that because I love it, because this is it. It's about doing the right thing with the right person at the right time and in the right way. Fear, stress can be helpful sometimes. Absolutely. Okay, let me go back to where we were. So remember, keep this in mind. I would love for you to still get to know where this concept is coming from. So it started with John Mayer and Peter Salovey, and then this, I am pretty sure maybe you all read it. I recommend this book. If you want it, I can share it with you by email or on your WhatsApp group. I have a very light PDF version that I can send you. So Daniel Goleman say, of course, I will send it. I will send it on WhatsApp later when we finish our session. Que nous dit, what did Daniel Goleman say? He spoke about emotional intelligence 5 years later, and he came up with 4 important, how should I call them, skills or components of emotional intelligence. The first one is self-awareness. We have been speaking about that since we have started, knowing your emotions. The second component, self-regulation. I've heard you guys speaking about balance, feeling everything, but then you get to know what to do with your emotions. Managing your own emotions. Empathy. And this is a value very dear to my heart. Put yourself in other people's shoes. Recognize and understand other people's emotions. This is a life savior. If we could all use empathy, I think it can change the world. Honestly, I think it can change the world. Empathy. Put yourself in your husband's shoes. Put yourself in your friend's shoes. Put yourself in your colleague's shoes. Put yourself in your kids' shoes. Put yourself in all the other people that you are dealing with. Put yourself in their shoes, and you will see. You will start. Some people, it's also motivation. Yes, it is coming. It is coming, absolutely. We add motivation, and we add oops, empathy is the key. No, Samah, no, I love it. Please keep them coming. I love your comments, and I'm so glad to see that you people are aware of that. So recognizing and understanding other people's emotions, and then social skills. How do you manage your relationships through managing the emotions of others? Remember, we are humans, and humans with emotions. Yes, we are humans with emotions, and we are humans that make mistakes, and we need to be aware of that. Then 3 years later, Goleman was not satisfied anymore with those 4 components, And he published a follow-up book called Working with Emotional Intelligence, because it was important for him to speak about emotional intelligence in a work climate, in the work atmosphere, and how can we link success in business with emotional intelligence. And this is where he started speaking about leadership and how you cannot be a good leader if you are not developing your emotional intelligence skill. So success is the capacity of recognizing our own feelings and those of others, for motivating ourselves, and here we go, Samah, for motivating ourselves, for managing emotions well in ourselves and in our relationships. All good, guys? I would have loved to see your faces, but unfortunately it is not possible. Maybe in the last 5 minutes you can just so good. Thank you so much. So maybe at the very end of this session, I would love to see you just to get to know you a bit more. I need to see the faces. Okay, so I believe that adopting the philosophy of Stoicism is related to emotional intelligence and can help you manage and control your emotions. Alors, le stoicism is it can be part of emotional intelligence. Can you do something about it? Yes, then do. Can't you? Then don't. Yes, it can be part of it, but it is much more. Alors, sophism. I did not get Abdelaziz. I did not get your comment. I'm sorry. But emotional intelligence, it's more about integrating your emotions and actually understanding them and knowing how to manage them. Okay, can we, Hanan, are you still here, please?
Yes, I'm here.
I am pretty sure they are starting to feel tired of listening to me. So if possible, I would love for you to break them into small groups of 4 or 5 people, if possible. Is it possible or no?
No, it's not possible.
Unfortunately, Zahra, we don't have the breakout rooms feature is not available in the webinar.
Sorry. Okay,
session.
it's okay.
That's okay.
No worries. No worries. I'm sorry, girls. I should have asked before. Sorry. So let us just do it here in the chat box, okay? Can you guys tell me?
Or I have an idea. Maybe Fatima Zahra. Maybe we can move some volunteer to panelists, and then you can do the exercise with them. Meanwhile, other ones will keep being participant. Like so, the ones that will volunteer for the exercise, we can move them to panelists, so they'll be allowed to activate their camera and mic. So maybe you can do the exercise with them. Meanwhile,
it's
the
okay,
others
my dear.
will keep
It's okay, no worries. It's okay. I just wanted them to interact with each other, but it's okay. We can just. Okay. I have just checked the time. It's going so fast, so it's okay. It's maybe a good thing that we do not
keep it this way.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Asma. Thank you. I'll just keep your answers coming. Do you think we can control our emotions? Or do you think emotions control us? Okay, let's answer the first question. Can we control our emotions? No, we can control them. We can. Yes and no. Yes, we can. No, we can't. By meditating. Yes and no, not always. Yes, we can. Okay. It's a lifetime battle. Yes, Edmund, this is so true. No, we can't. Oh, interesting. Okay, yes, we can. We flow with emotions. It depends. We can control it just with yoga and meditation. Of course we can. Yes, we can. It's hard to do it, not all the time. Okay, all your answers are correct, but the more correct for me are those who are saying yes and no. Yes, we can, but we are human beings, and from time to time our emotions will just control us, and we should accept it. And let me share with you, I love those insights, and I love to share them. I would love to share them with you. I think, yes, we can control if we accept them. Yes, Ablaziz, thank you for this. Yes. Do you know Van Gogh? I love this picture, by the way. I love to imagine those people having phones and taking selfies. But okay, but that's not the subject. Look at what he said. Let's not forget that the little emotions, let's not forget that the little emotions, that the great captains of life, that are the great captains of life, and we obey them without realizing it. They buttered the painting. Yes, and I love this painting. So let us not forget that the little emotions, because like, trust me, I have been working on my emotional intelligence for years, but I know that I am still not aware of some of my emotions. I do not even know that they are happening, that I am feeling them, and they keep like كيتعرموا, as we say in Arabic, and then it can lead to anxiety, and it can lead, I mean, we can work on it, and it takes time to work on it and to develop this skill, but we need to be aware that it is really hard, that it is very hard to actually, and we need to accept that it is really hard to get to know all our emotions. You keep learning about your emotions every day, absolutely. So we are learning, but yes, from time to time we will have to obey them without even realizing it. Oscar Wilde, while he gave the mic to Dorian Gray, said, "I don't want to be at the mercy of my emotions. I want to use them and dominate them." With all this being said, I can see, okay, I want to read your comments. Please read the book, The Placebo Is You. Okay, please guys, I will read it. I have never heard about it, Majda, but I will definitely read it. Okay, let's move on. Do you see this slide? Do you? Okay. Do you see the 6 emotions here? Happiness, disgust, fear, sadness, anger, and surprise. Those are the most... I'm waiting for someone to complete my sentence. What are those? Those I just read. Those that are here in the middle. Happiness, disgust, surprise, anger, fear. Yes. What did you say? Describe our emotions. Yes. What was the question? The question was, what are, in your opinion, those 6 emotions I have just shared with you? Happiness, disgust, surprise, anger, sadness, fear. Those are the most dominant. Absolutely. What about those surrounding them? It has been proven that those are the 6 basic emotions that we feel all around the world, no matter where you are coming from, no matter what your religion is, no matter what your man, women, Moroccan, Egyptian. Those are the basic emotions. Those are the 6 emotions you would be feeling. But then, how would you express those feelings? And this is where the fun begins. How would you express those feelings? Let's take an example. If we take happiness, because I love happiness. For example, me, Fatima Zahra, I will say, I feel pleased. And then Hanan will say, I feel ecstasy. And then Asma Amishnoog will say, I feel delighted. And then everyone will express it in a different word, in a different way, and it will have a different meaning for them. And this is why explaining and speaking about emotions is so hard. And this is why we need to pay very much attention when we are speaking about emotions. Sadness, for example, I can say I feel sad. You will understand it as I am feeling depressed. And someone else will understand it as if I was feeling unhappy. And someone else will feel it, understand it as I am in grief. The ones around them would be emotions that are hidden. They are the ones that people can find hard to feel or identify. It can be that, but it is like those are, c'est plus how do you say, c'est plus les degrés. Et c'est plus how you really feel. And you cannot really be to the point when you speak about your emotions. You cannot be, display this slide? Yes, sure, of course. Do you see it better now? Okay. Yes, so those are the different kind of emotions that you can feel. So this is why sometimes it is hard for us to connect on an emotional level with someone. It's because we do not really understand. We can be, I feel like we only use certain words to express our thought that others, yes, see? So it is very hard. And there's another level that makes it even harder. It's when we mix the feeling with another component, that is time, for example. So when you are speaking about anticipation, for example, it's, what is it? It is for maybe fear, and you add you add time to it. It's fear and time. So it makes your emotion, the emotion you feel, it's making it more complicated. It's making it very hard to understand. When you speak about guilt, for example, it is, what is it? Is it maybe sadness plus time, the past? So it is really hard to speak about emotions, and it's really hard to share with someone else the emotions that you are feeling. So this is why we need to pay very much attention when we speak about our emotions. I will share maybe the presentation we do so that you can have this, and maybe you can choose your words better. Like I can say, I'm surprised, but do you see how it can be understood in different ways by other people? When you say I'm surprised, people will understand it as I am amazed, I'm stunned, I'm astonished, I am shocked, and it can have so many different explanations, you know? So yes, speaking about emotions is not something that is supposed to be very, very easy. Okay, this we have already talked about. And we have, when we handle our emotions, we have three distinctive styles. You have the people that are self-aware. They know what they are feeling. They know that particular emotion that they are feeling, and they know when they felt it, and they try and can modify their emotions according to the circumstances and the people that they are with. Those are the masters of the emotional intelligence. It's not me. I think it's really hard to be this type. You can be sometimes, but not all the time. It's really hard. And then you have the second style of people. Those are what we call engulfed people. They are overwhelmed. And we all know this kind of people, right? Overwhelmed by their emotions. And the funny part is that when you start to understand your emotions and your feelings, you can easily spot them. You spot those who are overwhelmed. They are controlled by their moods, and you, like for example, you will meet a friend, and that friend will start speaking and talking to you, and they will show you that they are controlled by their emotions. they are not in control at all. They are not aware of what their emotions are doing to them. And they won't maybe realize that they might be overreacting, but because they are not aware of their emotions, and they did not learn how to balance and how to regulate their emotions. So they are helpless, and they're having a sense of being out of control. And you have another style of emotional intelligence, and they're not really, who are accepting. They're clear about their feelings, but they don't do anything about it. They cannot do anything to change it. And this is really sad, because this is how you can, like, you will have someone who will start telling you, I feel really sad, I feel depressed. I know this feeling, I know this emotion, I know exactly what I am feeling, but I cannot do anything about it. Those are, for example, the people that are going through depression or through a very tough period, but they are not emotionally intelligent enough to actually be aware of what they can do about it. So those are the three distinctive styles of people: self-aware people, engulfed people, and accepting people. What are, if I was to ask you, what are the advantages of emotional intelligence? I think we have to act if we feel bad, for example. We have to try to change this feeling. I don't really know how to accept the emotions, especially the negative ones. Am I right? Okay, Afaf, to answer your question, it's not about accepting. The first step is about understanding. I am feeling bad. Why am I feeling bad? What happened? Sometimes you're not even aware. Someone talked to you and you did not even realize that that person hurted your feelings and you were not aware of it. So you did not realize that you started feeling bad because that person told you something. The thing is that when you start working on your self-awareness, when you start working on understanding your emotions and your feelings, right away, you will start to understand it right away. Okay, I am feeling bad because of this. I am feeling bad because of that. I am feeling bad because this person told me this or that. Question-réponse. I was personally neglecting emotions and considered them a weakness. I feel like there is a stigma with men expressing their emotions, while I consider women privileged to express their emotions freely. My question would be, does emotions come before our logical thinking, or how can men break this stigma to be more expressive and emotionally intelligent, if I may say so? Thank you so much, Abdelaziz, for this answer. I love it, and it is so true. And you will see it is written in the disadvantages of the emotional intelligence. It is true that some people used to say, yeah, this is nothing, this is not interesting, like emotional intelligence is for weak people. Emotional intelligence is not really a skill that you can develop. It is not something that you can be proud of if you have developed it. And this is very common, especially in some cultures that do not really value in the right way how we should value emotions and how we should value feelings. This is so true. But the first thing, Abdelaziz, that you will have to deal with is you need to be aware that it is very important, because you feel emotions before you think. And the thing is that we need to start using our mind to understand our feelings. You see, we are speaking about emotional intelligence. So we are linking our brain and our heart. This is what we are doing. This is what emotional intelligence is. Like, sometimes people are shocked when you say, how can you speak about intelligence when you're speaking about when you are speaking about emotions? Because for a very long period of time, we have just spoke about intelligence while speaking about the brain, IQ. On ne parle que de l'intelligence mentale. On ne parle que de ça. On ne parle que de notre quotient intellectuel. For a long period of time, we have spoken about that only, which is so wrong, because you cannot separate a human being from its emotions. So how can you speak about intelligence if you do not speak about emotional intelligence? And how can you deal with people if you cannot deal with their emotions? It's just impossible. I hope it did answer your question. I will go back to your questions later on because it's already 6 and I still have so much that I want to share with you. um, uh, Thank you so much, Samah. I thank you for saying that. And I will go back to your questions that I love so much. So, what are the advantages of emotional intelligence? One, you improve your relationships, right? Um, it's very normal when you understand your feelings. Me, Fatem Zahra, when I started to understand my feelings and my emotions, when I started to control them, I had much less conflicts with my mother, with my father, with my brothers, because instead of reacting while feeling this emotion, while feeling a very high level of emotion, I took time to understand. And I took time to actually say the right thing at the right time. I did not stop criticizing. I did not stop sharing my feelings. No, but I just waited for the right time, at the right, with the right person and in front of the right person. Control and motivation. Yes, you maintain control. It lowers the stress levels and it maintains your motivation. For example, sometimes you can just wake up and you did not sleep well, but you will say, I am not motivated. I don't want to work anymore. I want to change my work. For example, I want to change jobs, for example. It can be true, but it can be as well your emotions playing you. So instead of resigning right away, you will take some time to actually think about this emotion and actually understand where it is coming from. Is it real or is it just something due to your bad night of sleep, for example? So yes, you learn control and you learn to make sure what your motivations are. You communicate better, definitely, so true. Why? Because you know what's going on, and you take some time to work on what you will say. So you communicate and you use better words, and God knows that words can be very hard sometimes. God knows that, and this is something I learned with emotional intelligence. Choose your words, because words can break friendships. Words can break relationships in general. We need to pay attention to what we say so that we do not break what matters to us. And it helps as well resolving conflicts. I think we won't have time for the conflict resolution part, but it's okay. We'll have another workshop with another speaker later this week, maybe tomorrow. And then tomorrow. And then believe it or not, it really helps your reputation. Like good levels of emotional intelligence enhances your reputation inside and outside of work. You know what? People will remember one thing. They won't remember how you worked. They won't remember your achievements, but they will remember how you made them feel when you were with them. This is what they will remember. Ask your employers or your colleagues or your friends or your schoolmates. Ask them and they will just keep this in mind. They will say, oh yes, we used to feel really well while being around this woman or this man. And this is what people long term will keep about you. Like me, for example, my employers, I have been working for 10 years now. And whenever an actual employer had to call my past employer, for example, they will say, oh, you will have no troubles working with her. She has, she is very, very fun to be around. You know, so this is what people will keep. They will keep how you made them feel. If you made them feel good, if you made them feel valued, if you made them feel important, they will keep this. And if you made them feel bad, if you made them feel sad, if you made them feel that they're not worth your time, then they will keep this and they won't remember you as a good leader. Let me check your comments for a while. I'm so curious. How meditation help us to become emotionally? No. Sometimes we might have strong emotions that we can't control. Yes, like panic and extreme fear when public when public speaking? What can we do in like this situation? Okay, public speaking is such another topic, but yes, sometimes we can have very strong emotions that we cannot control. Definitely, this is so true. And this is where we get to ask for help. This is where we do not just deal with it by ourselves and we ask for help. How can we use the I with someone who keeps provoking you? It is very hard, but you need to learn to put yourself in his or her shoes and try to understand, why does he keep provoking you? Does he or she really provoking you? Or is it just something you think is happening because that person is hitting something, is touching a weak point in you? I know it might be maybe heard in what I am saying, but sometimes but sometimes, like, whenever we feel provocation, for example, it may hit something. When I know myself, when I know my strengths, when I know my weaknesses, nothing can get to me. So I can just get it, and I can just ask in a very authentic way, in a very what is the word? Le mot m'échappe, mais I can just accept and tell them, okay, I feel like you are provoking me. Do you mind explaining why? Can you please just share with me what you are willing to do? What are you expecting from me? In a very direct way. And this, ça c'est la communication non violente, non-violent communication. Like, okay, you won't attack this person, but you will share in a very responsible way your feelings, because they cannot make you feel, they cannot tell you that you have attacked them, because you are just sharing your feelings. You're not attacking them. You're not saying them, you told me. No, instead of telling them you told me, you will just say, I felt a bit sad when you said that and that. Is it really what you meant? For example. But okay, I would recommend that you go through La communication non violente, read about it, and you will see there are like very simple ways to express your feelings and to express your ideas without going into conflict and creating another conflict with other people. Okay, so those are the advantages, but we have disadvantages as well. It cannot, the first one is that, I've been telling you that earlier, is that emotional intelligence cannot always be learned. Let's just accept it. It cannot always be learned. You can read books, you can attend to as many workshops as you want, but you cannot learn it if you do not practice it. Emotional intelligence is sometimes dismissed as just another management fad. And someone was saying that earlier. People will keep saying, yeah, emotional intelligence is not something important. It's not something you need. You do not need that. This is just, I'm sorry for the word, but they say it's just bullshit. They don't live without managing your emotions and the others' emotions, and let me know how you will be dealing with your life. How many people have suffered from that? They were like doing pretty good at work, and then because they have achieved their results, they have been, you know, ils ont été promus. They have benefited from a promotion, and they did not do well. Why? Because in that new job, they had to deal with people. They had to deal with humans, and they did not know how to do that. They were used to numbers. They were used to mechanical work. But then when they had to deal with humans, it was tough. And God knows this is the toughest part. Dealing with humans, being emotions, this is the toughest. I know. I just had a leadership experience within the Global Shapers community, and I know, like, you will work so hard while in a leadership position, but what you will have to do and spend the most energy on is dealing with the other emotions, in order for you to keep them involved, for them to keep feeling that they belong to the community, and in order for you to make them feel like doing and working and engaging with you. So emotional intelligence is not relevant in every job role, true. For example, a researcher won't except if he has to deal with people for a qualitative research or something, but they will just be working on their notes and writing all what they have to do. And I know here Esma would love to say something, but yeah she might not. And emotional intelligence can also be used to manipulate people, and this is really one of the biggest disadvantages of emotional intelligence. Like even in a political way, I'm pretty sure you can think about some actual political personage that use emotional intelligence, and unfortunately it can be used to manipulate people. Okay, now I will be sharing with you some tips that will help you develop your emotional intelligence. 3 questions. It is as simple as that. And please, if you can take a picture or something of this slide. It is one slide I love, and it is very simple yet very important for you to ask yourself 3 different questions. Oops, sorry. Before reacting, 1, does this need to be said? Does this need to be said? First question, first level. Second level, does this need to be said by me? 3, does this need to be said by me now? What do you guys think of those 3 questions? I cannot find your questions once again. Okay, Zoom, don't be hard on me, please. I need my friends' questions. For people, are they unconsciously searching to understand their feelings, or the overthinking itself? Okay, I will read the questions later on. Very nice questions. It depends on your experience. I agree, and I think we should also does this need to be said this way? Anger, anger will answer with a yes. But the thing is that here we are saying that we have learned to manage our emotions, and we are getting help from our brain, and we are asking our brain to think with us. So I know I'm feeling bad. I know I am mad, and I know if I react now, I will just say very much what I am feeling. There is a very common example here. It's when you get an email and you are very, very, very mad at your boss, for example. Would it be a smart idea to answer to that email right away? Faut tourner la langue 1000 fois avant de parler. Definitely not. So what we recommend when we speak about emotional intelligence, write down your email and let it there. Laisse le brouillon. Don't send it. Do not send it. Go, do something, play guitar, sing, swim, go for a walk, and then get back to your email and read it once again. And I am pretty sure you will see that your ego was about to make you do something you will regret. So keep this in mind. Before reacting, ask yourself, take some time. It might seem hard at the very beginning, but then you can, trust me, you will so get used to it. Does this need to be said? Does this need to be said by me? And does this need to be said by me and now? This is a very simple tip that will help you develop your emotional intelligence. Keep this in mind. Ego is an idiot, definitely yes, but we need our ego. We cannot live without it. Otherwise, we won't know where is the good from the bad for us. So it's good to have the ego, but it's good to control it. And sometimes when it controls us, it's okay as well to know it and be aware of it and say, I'm sorry when you react in the bad way. This is part of the emotional intelligence as well. Saying I'm sorry is part of emotional intelligence. Okay, so very quickly, what time is it? Gosh, oh my God. Okay, let's go very quickly. Leadership and emotional intelligence. Keep this in mind, guys. when you are willing to be a leader, if you are already, you definitely, I cannot see, okay, 1 second. You definitely will have to praise in public and criticize in private. Keep this in mind. Praise in public, criticize in private. If you want to be emotionally intelligent, you do not have to criticize in public. 1. Leaders of high-performing teams share 6 times more positive feedback than leaders of average teams. Can you believe it? If you want to have a high-performing team, you will have to share feedback, and you will have to share positive feedback. And it occurs, apparemment, when some researchers are saying that, not me. Leaders of high-performing teams share 6 times more positive feedback than leaders of average teams. Low emotionally intelligent leaders share nearly twice as much negative feedback than average. And you need to be genuinely interested in your team. A boss that says, "Good morning, how are you feeling today?" is much more emotionally intelligent than someone who will say, "Hi, I want you to do this, 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 and that." How do you want me to be motivated if you do not even care about my feelings? You know? So those are a few simple tips. And let me share with you 10 simple, very simple phrases that can create highly engaged, empowered, and motivated teams. Here you go. I love this one. What do you need from me to make this a success? What do you think? I love this one. Oops, sorry. Sorry. This is not what I wanted to share. This one. Definitely, yes. You cannot be a leader if you do not care about emotions and if you're not emotionally intelligent. Definitely not. Or you can be, but then your team won't be that motivated. So when you say, "What do you need from me to make this a success?" Trust me, those are very simple sentences, but that you can use and will help you so much in dealing with your teams and with the people you are working with. What do you need from me to make this a success? What does it mean? It means that you can count on me. I am part of your team and I am here to help. And I want you to succeed. See all the messages that this sentence is having? Beautiful, right? I have complete faith in you. Right, Asma? Yes. I have complete faith in you. I believe in you. What am I doing by telling you that I have complete faith in you? I am helping you believe in yourself. And when you believe in yourself, you give much more to your work and to whatever you are willing to do. You've done a great job. What am I doing here? You've done a great job. What am I doing? I am just congratulating you. And I am making you know that I noticed all your efforts. I am aware of all what you have done. Do you have the capacity to do this now? What does it mean? This sentence is very interesting because once the people you are working with say yes, they will take the responsibility. And you can get back to them and ask for, you know, tu peux demander de compte. Ils peuvent te rendre des comptes. I don't know how to say that. Les gens, tu peux leur demander de te rendre des comptes. Once you asked, yes, no, rely on you, make a favor. No, this is not, do you have the capacity to do this now? They become accountable. Like they will have to get back to you and actually achieve what they have achieved. I value your contribution. This is beautiful. And it costs nothing. Those are just words. You just have to say them. And if you cannot say them, just send an email by telling them. But it means so much. I value your contribution. How could we make this better? How beautiful is that? We are in this together. We are working together. How could we make this better? What do you think? Just you value your people just by asking them for their opinion. What have we learned from this? like instead of saying, see, I have told you, you shouldn't have done this way, you've made a mistake. No, we're not here to criticize, and we're not here to make you feel bad. We are here to move forward. So what have we learned from this, and what can we use next time, right? Keep your comments coming. And then, sorry, my fault. How beautiful is a leader that is able to say, sorry, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. How beautiful is that? Okay, if you count those, how many sentences do we have here? Count them. How many sentences do we have here? 9. Yes, there are just 9, but I told you there are 10 sentences. What is the 10 sentences in your opinion? I'm proud of you. Good try. It can be a good sentence, but when not, yes, thank you. Thank you. So simple, but yes, say thank you. When someone sends you an email, for example, you take 2 minutes and say thank you. Thank you means so much to the people that we are working with. Yes, definitely. I think we won't speak about conflict resolutions. I do not feel bad about it, because you will be doing that with like the speaker that you will be having tomorrow, inshallah. So that would be all for me today. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful interactions. Thank you so much for your questions. Really, I loved sharing my little knowledge with you. I would love to hear from you and from Skills for Skills and more participants. I hope you had fun. Maybe we can go through one last thing. If you remember at the very beginning, I have told you that I will be sharing with you a very simple tip that will help you develop your emotional intelligence. It is called the 3 good things. You know, as human beings, we have evolved to spend much more time thinking about negative experiences than positive ones. We spend a lot of time thinking about what isn't right, what has gone wrong, and how to fix it or how to do it differently next time. And there is a psychologist called Martin Seligman, who is one of the experts on positive psychology. And he is the director of the Positive Psychology Center at the University of Pennsylvania. And he started the 3 good things practical activity. And it has been scientifically proved and demonstrated that to be effective, you need to do it in your everyday life. So it's really, and personally, I loved it. And it is very simple. It is called 3 good things. 3 good things. And his name is Martin Seligman. Yes. So three steps. The first one, think about anything good that happened as you went through the course, as you went through this session today. Anything good that happened. It can be anything that seems positive to you. It can be a slide, it can be an image, it can be a sentence, it can be an interaction, it can be a question, it can be anything. Okay, once you have done this, please identify 3 good things. 3, and write them down. You can start doing it here, but then you can as well take some time and do it by yourself when you are quand vous êtes tranquillement chez vous, you can do it. Identify 3 good things and write them down. It's very important to write down those 3 positive things. Okay? Once you have wrote them down, reflect on why each good thing happened. and how this will help you. When you ask yourself the why this happened, the why is the most important part of the activity. Why? Because you get to decide reasons for each event that makes sense to you. Doing a simple, trust me guys, doing a simple activity like this one at the end of each day, focusing on your daily experiences, will help improve your focus on positive and will develop your happiness and your emotional intelligence. Trust me, I have tried it and it works. It really works. You just think about your day, 3 things that went really well. Why was it good? 3 good things, like colors, Van Gogh. Yes, it's somehow a gratitude journal. Yes, it is somehow. But the thing is to answer the question, why did it have this impact on me? Why did it feel so positive? With this, we're done. Thank you once again, Hanan and Asma, for the invitation, and congratulations on this amazing job you're doing for Skills for Skills. We really need much more of that. Guys, if you want to keep in touch, please feel free to send me an email or add me on social media. I am on both Facebook and Instagram, obviously. Here's my email address. I will be sharing the presentation with Hanan, so maybe she can send it to you by email, right, Hanan? I don't know.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay. So thank you so much once again, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. We wish you could have stayed with us for the networking session. But
I would have loved to, but
will...
what I can promise, Asma, is for us to meet once again for something else. We will figure it out, but I will definitely available for you.
Amazing. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much, everybody. We are back to you with the networking session. Thank you so much for following up with all the amazing learnings from Fatima Zahrae this workshop. We learned a lot from her and we have a lot to discuss in the networking session. I'm so excited to hear from all of you, your stories and reflections. And again, if you want to be part of it, raise your hand so that we move you to the panelists. We have Nomtandazo and we have Abdelaziz with us. Hello, everybody.